Woo! What is good, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. It is the big match preview, top of the table clash. Sheffield United versus Leeds United. Who will come out on top on Monday night? I gotta say, man, we're talking about this, and it does actually coincide with the Premier League because that's the destination that both teams want to get to. I've just been watching the Everton Man United game and the last-minute penalty decision that wasn't given for Everton against Man U. That is something I'm not going to be looking forward to next season. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it happens with all of those clubs. Even though Man U are like down in the bottom half of the table, they're still a big name. But boy, when you get a decision against Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United, these referees, VAR, they check them and they check them and they check them. You know what I mean? It's insane the checks that go on with those teams to make sure that it has to be given against them. Whereas I watch other matches and the checks are nowhere near as thorough. But when it's against Liverpool, oh, make sure, was he offside? Okay. Was someone in the crowd doing a laser pen? I don't know. It's insane the stuff that goes on, and we got all that to look forward to next year when we get promoted. But listen, what's going on, man? Yeah, we're going to speak about the results that have happened already that are, relevant to us in our table. Listen, like the video, subscribe to the channel, of course, drop your comments and your score predictions in this video. This is the preview, and of course, video's already been made for the Match Reaction Monday, so if you want to join me then, click the notification bell, like that video, and join me after the game, and we can discuss that then. But look, it's been a good... I mean, the weekend's been fine anyway. I mean, Burnley, they do what they do. They've come out with a 4-0 win against Sheffield Wednesday. I mean, they don't really score that many goals, so I mean, that says a lot about Sheffield Wednesday. But they've got another clean sheet. They've got 3 points, and they move closer to the top 2. Sunderland have just dropped 3 points at home to Hull City, which is, for me, that it doesn't mean that they're just stuck to the playoffs, but it's going to be a hard ask for them to finish in the top 2. So for me now, this is a clear 3-horse race at this point in time. But what Leeds United can do Monday, people, is just get ahead of this all. Get 3 points against Sheffield United, and basically it's us, and it's either Sheffield United or Burnley. And quite frankly, I hope it works out that way for obvious reasons. And then we don't even have to think about the playoffs. Somebody said about Burnley that they would probably want to finish in the playoffs and draw both games and then win a penalty shootout to get through. And I can see that happening. You know what I mean? Tintin here saying here, let's say Monday's game will be tougher than last week. I think so too, Tintin. And I've discussed this previously. Out of the 2 games, I thought we could beat Sunderland at home. I didn't have any doubts. I knew it would be a tough game, but I knew that we'd be in pretty good shape. But Sheffield United away from home, I still think we can win, and I'll give my score prediction later. But it's going to be a tougher game. They're going to be better prepared for this one than they were at Ellen Road. Yeah, I just feel like this could be a banana skin in terms of the result, but we'll get into it, of course. Yeah, and good afternoon to everyone, man. Yeah, listen, we're not going to go too long today because, quite frankly, I mean, the press conference, there really wasn't much in it in terms of that. Oh, by the way, let me just get the... Is the table updated yet? No, it's not updated yet. I'll go back to the table in a bit. There really wasn't much in the press conference this weekend, people. And again, it's much like the Sunderland one where I thought it was going to be a bit bigger, a bit meatier. There wasn't too much in it. The only thing that we've got is that there's a question mark over Manor Solomon, but hopefully today and tomorrow he's back in training, and I'll do my team based on that as well. That's all. Everything else is status quo. Bamford's out, Verber's out, and that's the way it is. The only other topic really they touched on in the press conference with at any length was that Danny Farker will be banned from pitch side for this game. And that's pretty much all it was. He was talking about how he doesn't really celebrate and everything else like that. But we'll have to do without Danny Farker on the touchline. The team will have a plan in place. I'm sure there's contingency plans if that's to ever happen. So they'll follow suit with that. But yeah, Danny Farker won't be on the touchline for this game, but hopefully it doesn't affect it too much in that way. In terms of Sheffield United, I mean, it's pretty much what I said before. They left out Gus Harmer in particular for me is the key. They left him out against Luton, just due to possible hamstring issues. But apparently he would have been good to go for the game, but they wanted to save him for this one. Kiefer Moore and Tom Cannon will be available for Monday as well. So they're going to have a whole array of attacking options to choose from. And it's going to be interesting to see who they go with. Because for me, Tom Cannon, and I've said it to you guys before, on here. And listen, I know it's the Leeds way. He could come now and score 2 goals against us Monday. That makes no difference to me. I would have been gutted if Leeds United had spent 10 million on Tom Cannon. That's just not the kind of signing that I want for this football club. But I get it for Chris Wilder and Sheffield United. It's such a Chris Wilder kind of signing, Tom Cannon. But look, he could make an impact on Monday if he's chosen. But yeah, Gus Harmer is the key man for me. He's the one that you need to look out for. He's the thing that keeps that team ticking. And even if they're looking not too good in the game, he has that moment of magic that will get him out, whether it's a key pass, a goal. He is that player for them. So we'll look out for him, because I mean, he has struggled. I've been watching Sheffield United games, as you guys will know, and he rarely finishes 90 minutes, you know, whether that's fitness or what, but he rarely finishes 90, but usually he's done damage within the 78 minutes he's on the pitch. So I'm sure we'll have a plan for that as well. Ali here saying, wouldn't be surprised if Mano starts. Yeah, and listen, we'll go into it in a bit in terms of the team, but I wouldn't be surprised too. I think it could be like a rope it up. Oh, is Mano Solomon not fit? You know, he's been on fire for them lately. You know, so it could be one of those, and then surprise, he starts. So we'll see about that. Yeah, Sean saying here, if Arca likes to say a big player is out, then usually plays him. Yeah, that does happen quite a lot. But that's what I mean. In this press conference, for such a big game, by the way, I didn't get anything else. If you guys have anything else that you think was important that he brought up, please put it in the comments or the chat if you're live right now. Yeah, I think so too, Guy. I think so. So going with that, I mean, look, the game within itself is massive. Chris Wilder made a couple of errors in the last game against us. It was that time where George Baldock had just passed away, so there was a little bit of emotion at Sheffield United there. But in terms of his tactical plan, he got it wrong. He got it wrong in that one, and he'll want to put everything right from that game. What he did, Raksaki had scored 2 goals for them in the previous game. I think it was before the international break. Put him on the bench in this game to put on an extra midfielder or defensive type player, and it just played into our hands. We were just all over him. Our centre back swallowed up Kiefer Moore. Big pause on that one. Gus Harmer, Callum O'Hare, who, by the way, I'll speak about that in a bit, but they were just, you know, shut out of the game by Rothwell and Tanaka in that one. Callum O'Hare, by the way, is cold. He's cold, not in a good way of he's cold. I mean, he's freezing cold. He looks like he's devoid of confidence right now. He's not looking like the player that started the year at Sheffield United, where him and Gus Harmer were linking up so nicely. He looks like he's in need of a goal. Looks very shot shy. Well, if I will say, it's like one of those where you take in 2-3 touches before you get your shot off. So he's out of form a bit, but they do have some dogs in that midfield as well. And that little pest Peck, I think he'll be playing. He'll be on the wind up. So our players have got to look out for that. He's a bit of a pest in there. And of course, Vinny De Sousa, who's a physical presence. Amahodzic has started to score again, but then so has Pascal Struck. So you know what? It's all good there. It's all good. Wilf in the house, catching you for live for a change. Shout out to you, Wilf, man. I hope you're good. And FB White saying here, time to show who's boss on Monday under the lights. Absolutely, man. Because look, let me just quickly get this. Have they updated it yet? Yeah, give Sunderland their second loss. There we go. I mean, if we can get the 3 points in this game, I mean, I do feel it would be, it's very dangerous being a Leeds fan saying this. I know, and I can see a lot of you already said, don't say it, Cage. Don't say it. I feel like we've got 1 foot in the Prem if we win this game, because our run of fixtures after it's easy. It's easy. I'm just going to say it now from a fan's perspective. Of course, the players, the manager, everyone has to prepare like every point matters, because it does. But from a fan point of view, the fixtures that we have after are very, very winnable. So if we get 3 points on Monday, that would be the ultimate result. 5 points clear Sheffield United. Maths great. 7 points clear again of Burnley, who have now closed the gap after their win. I think it would be almost good to say that we are in the Premier League. Almost, though. Even I got caution as a Leeds fan saying it, but I do feel it would be pivotal. A draw wouldn't be the worst result. Got to say that if we go there and we draw the game, having beaten Sunderland already the previous week, 4 points from 6 isn't the worst return. But if you can get 6 out of 6, that's a statement for me. Absolutely. Ali here saying, don't think they've played well for a while. They bang out about the Borough win like it was a statement, but Borough was so poor. Yeah, that Middlesbrough, I told you before on here that the defendant in that Middlesbrough game, the fact that Middlesbrough, I don't even think they're in the playoff picture anymore. I think they lost again on the weekend. Comical that they were even in the playoff picture with that kind of defending. Keystone Cup stuff. I mean, between the goalkeeper and defender, the two defenders, then putting Ben Brett and Diaz through. I mean, it just shows you the quality of this league. Honestly, it's sickening. It's sickening. FB White saying steady on. I know. Always hold caution with this club, but I gotta say, doing your job against Sunderland in the way that we did as well, and then going to Bramall Lane and then getting maximum points. I don't see how I couldn't believe. I know that there's always that Leedsy thing, but I don't know how you couldn't believe, because I know that if we was looking at one of our rivals doing the same thing that we're doing, we'd be saying, they're promoted already. But I know that there's always a caution with the Leeds United. I do get that. But look, with any no surprises for me, I actually I think there might be a surprise in here, because I think like you guys might want Ruffwell in there, but I'm going to say this. I'm going to go with this lineup that I think Farker will go with. I think it will be Melier, Bogle, Roden, and I think Big Pascal comes back in. Barker did say that he's ready to start games. You've got to put Pascal back in central defense. Nothing against Ampadu, but you know that goal that Sunderland scored, Isidore scored. It's not an indicator of what's to come, but we saw the fall off of Ampadu at centre back towards the end of last season as well. We don't need to do that again. We've got Strauch in there. He's fit and ready to go. Put him in. And with Junior, this is the only one I think. I don't know about you, but I'm putting Junior in there, but I think it wouldn't surprise me if we saw Sam Byram in there just for extra protection. And I know a lot of people won't like that, but we've seen before with Farker with tough away games, or more physical away games. He's not scared to put Byram in at left back to shore up the defense. So I've got Junior in there for now. The middle two, and it may be controversial because of Ruffwell's cameo performance, but I've got Tanaka and Ampadu. Listen, both players didn't cover themselves in glory in the last games, but players are allowed a one-off bad game. On the whole, they've been brilliant. And also with Tanaka, I don't think he has a second quiet game. It hasn't happened. Even with previous games where he's had probably a quiet game for his standards, he's come back in the next one and been absolutely on fire. And I think there's been a long enough gap for him to rest, recuperate before this game. And I think Farker will want his industry nature in that midfield against this kind of Sheffield United team. And also with Ruffwell in previous away games, I don't think he stood out. I don't, apart from that cameo that he made, and it was a brilliant cameo against Sunderland, it was. But if you think about before that game, he got dropped to the bench for a reason. He was quiet. He was becoming a bit inconsistent. And I don't think away from home he has pulled up any tree. So I would go with Ampadu and Tanaka. And with Ampadu and Tanaka in there, you've got defensive solidity, and also Tanaka can get forward with a bit more freedom, knowing that Ampadu is back there along with Roden and Strauch. So for me, this would be the midfield that I would go with. But if you would go with Ruffwell, let me know in the comments. And just to finish, if Solomon is fit, and I'm going to go with the on the side that he is going to be fit, I'm starting Solomon. He has to start if he's fit and ready to go. This is a big game. Solomon will want to turn up in this kind of game under the lights. Big game, promotion race, Sky Sports. He'll want to be there. Dan James, it's cash money. And of course, Brendan Aronson, who probably starting, what is it now? His 31st, 32nd league match in a row. He will be there. And of course, Joel Peru. And listen, with all the stuff that Sheffield United tried to do in the summer, putting Joel Peru's name out there, he'll want to prove a point again. So whether it's Peru or maybe Joseph comes on a bit later, I think that we'll have enough in attack against this team. And I think we've got enough to win. I think it's going to be a tough game, but I do think we've got more than enough to win this game, people. Paul saying here, if Harmer starts, I want us going after him big time in hope of tweaking that hamstring. He's key to that side. Keep working hard. Keep working him hard until hopefully he breaks down. Yeah, listen, it's what you have to be mindful of. Gus Harmer, you cannot let him go free. He's one of those kind of players that if you give him just half a yard, he will put a hammer through that ball and put it in the top corner, no doubt. So you do have to be mindful of a Gus Harmer, 100%. We will test out his hamstring, Paul. I'm sure that will be, not lost on Danny Farker, that he did come off and he was struggling in that game that Sheffield United last played. Can't even remember who it was, but he should have come off in the first half. Let me just say that he should have come off in the first half. He was struggling then. He was barely moving around the pitch in the second half, but he stayed on. It's quite incredible. I don't know how Leeds fans would have gone if we had a player that was half injured on the pitch, especially when you have other options. But that shows how important he is. So FV White saying, agree with that lineup, KG, spot on. Thank you, FV. Gavin here saying, let's put a big marker down Monday, take the pressure off. Absolutely. And you know what? should we go worst case scenario? Even if we do lose people, which I hope we don't, by the way, really, for every reason that you could imagine, okay? I really hope we don't lose. But even if we do lose, it is not going to be the end of the world. For me, it does not say that we're going to all of a sudden slip down to third. I think we get back on the horse in the next game. I don't think we've already seen in the cup. I know it was a much changed team, but people thought, oh my God, we've lost the cup game. Have we lost momentum? We then go and beat Watford 4-0. I don't think that we're going to lose any ground. This is a tough game. I know that both teams, we've got 2 points better. We're 2 points better off. But if you were to take out their 2-point deduction, we're actually on the same amount of points. So it does show you just how close that this game is in terms of the both teams' form this season. So it's going to be massive, people. It's going to be massive. But I'm going to err on the side of Leeds United here, and I believe in the team, especially if it's the team that I've put out, which I think Farker will go with. That's just solid, man. That's just solid. Jayden Bogle, how could we forget Jayden Bogle? I'm sure he'll be given. I mean, he was already given a rough reception when he played for us at Ellen Road against Sheffield United. I'm sure they're going to be welcoming him with open arms on Monday night. He's going to want to put on a big performance against his former team as well. So there's a lot of pluses in our team. I think Jamie Shackleton is injured for them. Surprise, surprise. Who knows? Ryan here saying Farker will start full controls. I take it from saying, yeah. They'll be communicating, how they do, just via communication equipment. It always happens, and he will give instructions before. And if it gets dicey, somebody will run up to wherever he's sitting and try and get instructions. If they can't communicate that way, it will be fine. It will be fine. He went off against Middlesbrough in the second half, but he should have gone off in the first. So listen, people. In terms of that, what are we saying here? Only 20 man. People like the video, like the videos. Bjorn says here, come on, let's get the likes up, man. It's free to do, helps out the channel. Michael here saying another yellow card for Bogle means a ban. It does, but I mean that's the risk you take, isn't it? When players get constant yellow cards, eventually they're going to miss a game, because sometimes managers will rest them for a game depending on the importance, much like Chris Wilder did in the first game with Gus Harmer when he was close to getting a yellow card or a ban for the Leeds game, or he'll miss a game due to suspension. It's going to happen at some point. Just hopefully that he just doesn't get sent off and he just stays the one match, right, that he gets booked for. But listen, he might not get booked for this one, but I think there's a high chance he may get booked in this game. All right, he got a little bit flustered against Sunderland when Enzo Lefebvre was doing his skills. If the crowd get on top of him too much, he may get a little bit heated then. But we'll deal with it then. We'll deal with them. We've got Isaac Schmidt. We've got Sam Byram in reserve. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. 2-game ban. Fairs. Okay, so match score predictions. I'm gonna go. I think we may concede in this one. We may even concede first. I'm gonna go with a tight 2-1 Leeds victory. 2-1. I got 2-1 last week against Sunderland. Give me 2-1 again. And listen, if it's even better, clean sheet, that would be even nicer, please. All right. Give me a clean sheet, Leeds. I would love that. Just for my heart. Just for my heart. Let's go then. What we saying? Hyru, 2-0 Leeds. I think we can breathe easier with this one. Mr. Ripper saying 2-0 win. Gavin saying 5-1. Imagine that. FV saying 2-1, 5 points clear. Ina going 3-1, as is Wilf. Tintin going 2-2. Yep. Oh, yeah. Keen Jelly and who was it? Keen Jelly and Russ. Thank you for the super thanks on the last video. Forgot to say it at the start. Much appreciated, guys. Carl saying here 4-1 lead. Sent Harmer to Burger King for the rest of the season till he joins us in the summer. Ali saying here 1-0. David Gray saying 1-1. Bjorn saying here 2-1 Leeds, yeah, and Carl saying 2-1. So okay, yeah. And let me just see the poll here. Let me end the poll. Let me end the poll now. Right, so we got 71% think Leeds will win, draw 25%, 2% Sheffield United. So there's one Sheffield United fan that got that infiltrated the stream. Ryan here saying can't predict this one. That is fair, but yeah, I believe in the team, man. I do believe in this team to get the job done. And what a victory it would be. Euphoria yet again. Let's go. Just to end, I'm just going to touch on this very briefly, people. Just very briefly. I didn't do a video about this because, quite frankly, I don't think it's that important. I don't. In terms of this, it was reported a couple of days ago now. As per reports, Leeds United CEO Angus Kinnear being targeted along with others for a role at Everton by the Freakin Group. I understand that Kinnear has been subject of interest from Freakin for a couple of months as they completed their takeover at Everton. So this is something that could be done in the summer. I got to say, if he moves on, fair. Honestly, it doesn't make or break this football club. There's other CEOs, and I'm sure the 49ers, he was left over from the old regime. I'm sure that they'll have a CEO that they'll want in place at this football club. And yeah, I don't think it would be a huge loss, a loss for the football club. He's done some good things, but at the same time, he's done some bad things as well, as with every job. But it's not easy. I understand. I even go with the difference in two interviews that he had with the Square Ball, where the one where we had just come down, it was just pure lies in that one. And I mean, I remember picking it apart and going, does he think that everyone is stupid? Like, really? I mean, one of them that just stood out, and I'll never forget it, was Jaden Anthony. Oh, yeah, we've been looking at him since the summer. No, you hadn't. Like, why are you lying for? Like, that was just one of many lies in that one. I think he did better on the last one. Maybe the Square Ball guys saw the feedback and said, Angus, you're not going to be able to BS people on this one too much. Can you just try and be honest as much as you can? But yeah, listen, it's one of those where it's just another piece of the old regime that will probably go, and we can, keep on moving on in this fresh, face thinking of being new Leeds United. And yeah, that's what I'm saying here, Ripper. Nice to have a clean slate. Yeah, it's not like it's one of those important cocks where you think, God, I'm so glad we kept Angus Kinnear. I don't think I've ever seen anyone say that, or I've never even thought it. So yeah, it's one of these. It is what it is. If he moves on, I'm sure the 49ers have already got a list of people, or maybe they've got one in particular that will take his place if he does join Everton. And good luck to him. There you go. Good luck to him. And that is it. That's literally all I want to say in regards to that. That's it. And Brian here saying thanks, but goodbye. Yeah. And yeah, listen, Michael here talking about the 49ers Rangers thing. I've already done a video on that, Michael. If anything is to happen with Red Bull, it will be in a couple of years, if anything. What I would always say is just don't get attached to owners. This is a business. I mean, you don't get owners that stay at clubs for 20, 30 years anymore. It's different. If someone comes in with a good offer for Leeds United and it's more than what the 49er Enterprises paid, and they feel that the new owners will pass all the checks, then they'll sell. I mean, it's one of those things. But this thing here with the Rangers thing, I've spoke about it in the previous video, so I'm not going to go on about it here. It's not a big deal for me. There's, Bill Foley, someone mentioned Bournemouth, but I've mentioned before, Bill Foley owns the Vegas Golden Knights, a hockey team. These people own multiple businesses and multiple sports franchises around the world. Arsenal's owners own the Colorado Avalanche, Denver Nuggets. It makes no difference to me. I mentioned Tony Bloom, who owns a part share in a Belgian team, could be owning a stake in Hearts as well in Scotland. It really doesn't make a difference. But the only thing I'd say is, I mean, this is where you go silly when people make silly comments was, oh, it's nice. Someone said it's nice to see the Somerville and Archie Gray money go to good use. I mean, that just shows you how surface level some fans think, that they think that all the money that these guys invest around the world globally has just come from the sales of a few players, and now they can go buy Rangers. But that's where I don't join the conversation. But yeah, I'm not fussed about this. Like I said, the only time where we'll have any kind of conflict really is when we're both playing in the same European competition. And let me just say, I said it in that video and I'll say it again, if that ever happens, that's a great thing for this football club that we're back in Europe, okay? So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. And it's as simple as that for me. But yeah, people, that is it for the video. That is it for the preview. I hope you've enjoyed it. We're going to be back Monday evening, win, lose, or draw, and we'll speak about the result then. Hopefully it's something great for Leeds United, and we can then just keep an even further eye on the Premier League, because we'll be that much closer. We will be that much closer. But people, if you haven't already, like the video before you go. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you Monday night. Peace out.